This is AJ the CEO with another episode of Church Post Production. This is episode number 26. Pretty much I've been out the loop for a little bit because I took the whole month off from media ministry to try and refresh and recoup. But we are back in the saddle here. Actually, even though I had a vacation, I've been working back with the stuff at my church, so it's not like I really had that much of a break. Hold on. I'm cooking dinner at the same time, so give me 1 second to switch back over here. Let me take care of that real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, hold on, baby. Hold on. Daddy's recording. Daughter wanted to be in the camera here, so sorry about that. So, like I was saying, I pretty much have been running around, still doing other stuff inside ministry, which is to be expected. But you don't keep doing the stuff if you don't love it. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get my system straight. I got a bunch of fun projects that are coming up. Um, Unplug this so y'all can actually see. I am doing a reinstall of an upgrade for a computer for somebody at my church, and I finally got a chance to play around with the system. This is the AZRock A300 Desk Mini, super tiny computer, which I have a review coming up, and this honestly would be great for like NDI stuff, or because it has a VESA mount on the back, so you can actually mount it on a TV or something like that. But really cool system. Look out for the review of that pretty soon. I mean, it's been out for a while, but just did a build on this, and I'm actually got the lady from church her computer, so I'm going to be migrating her data onto this later this afternoon. So anyway, let's get over here to work on some videos here for church, shall we? Get over here to my ATEM, and here we go. Alright, and of course, my monitors are jacked up. Here, I've been playing around with my capture card, so I'm trying to find which one is which. That's 2, so that's 4. So 4 and 2 need to be the same. And then 1 and 3 need to be the same. Sorry, I had all this stuff set up because I was testing out the Ori 1x4, so I had everything still set up from that. So sorry about that. So let's go over here into DaVinci Resolve. I already have the software. What am I trying to say? The SD card is already loaded with today's service on there, so I'm going to be working on that. And I hope y'all don't mind I'm eating a slushie while I'm cooking some chicken wings behind me. Hope y'all had a good day at church. And let me bring up my chat just in case anybody was talking to me. Antioch. And I got my chat up here. Let me pop that window out here. And we're going to go to services, and we're going to make a new one for today. 0728. Now, we had some sound issues in ProPresenter today, which kind of messed up us doing our announcements. First, Pastor forgot about the announcements, and I reminded him right before the sermon. And then when we went to play it, the sound in ProPresenter didn't work. So what I found out is ProPresenter does not like when you plug in headphones when you have it in the system, because everybody else will know to switch back, but for whatever reason, ProPresenter did not do that. So, all right, so let's go ahead and upload this. And wow, none of this has been deleted. I haven't ran out of room. All right, so here's the service from today. We actually had a baptism today, so I'm probably going to call that out in a separate video. We only had one person got baptized today, so it's not like that will be really long. I'll probably include that here. So we're going to pull over our files here, our quick load stuff that we've talked about before. Now all my data's there, so let's go ahead and start the editing. All right, so switch this over to tab view, and once I load this, this will change. Guess I should freeze this so it doesn't go all over the place. All right, so let's do Control N. We're gonna do full. That's our full timeline. Control N again on line. Another Control N. We're gonna call this one baptism. Wait, did I spell that right? Oh, no, you. All right, so those are our three. All right, so let's go ahead and find our beginning, which I have in here. I need to resort this. I need to put this under graphics instead of stock. But anyway, here's our intro. I'm gonna come in here, fade that for 1 second. Fade that for 1 second. And again, normally I have dual screens for those who are just now joining us. My name is AJ the CEO. I didn't mention that. I normally come here every Sunday and do a live stream to show what I actually do when editing and doing all that fun stuff behind the scenes for our church media ministry. I am currently in DaVinci Resolve, which is a very powerful video editor, which is completely free, that you could always go to blackmagicdesign.com and download yourself, and you could follow along with me. Now, you don't need a super powerful computer, but you do need, I would recommend a computer at least with 16 gigs of memory and a dedicated GPU if you can. It doesn't need to be super expensive, but that would help. All right, so let's go here. I reset the interface here, so if people saying it looks kind of different, plus I'm only using it on one screen. All right, so here's our service. And it looks like the record button was pressed in late. So I'm gonna skip the baptism for right now. I'm gonna get right about here. And we're gonna drag this. So I just hit the I button or the mark in and mark out because I don't want that beginning part there. So I'm just going to drag the sound to match, and I need to unplug my headphones here for a second so I can actually hear. I'm going to hear where it's starting at. Let me turn that up a little bit more. Alright, so right here, we reset our sound recently, to a default that we did a couple of years ago because we've been having some issues with our sound. We're bringing somebody in to recalibrate our sound because we've been having some issues. So this might be a little different than before, but either way I have to balance out the sound a little bit more. So I'm just going to crank that up maybe about 8, because the whole goal, what I like to do is keep my volume at 50, as you see, and I want to, can I hear everything perfectly fine? So yeah, that's fine. Now, I'm not doing a lot of the lower thirds like I used to, but I could. Not a big problem with that. This is lower thirds that I've made with some of the programs templates that we've gotten from VideoHive. Check them out, videohive.net. They hand out free stuff as well, but if we were going to use them, I would just drag this here, and it's pretty much a compilation of pictures that it just does this. So if I play it now, see, there we go. So I'll leave that in there, and now we're just going to scrub through all of this. We had some visitors from China today, which was awesome. And so as you can see, the sound has been balanced out a little bit more. So I'm gonna make a, let me take my camera off here so you can see. You don't hear? Shanette, you don't hear? Thought my sound was up. Hold on, let me turn my, hold on a second, y'all gonna hear echo here for a second. Let me bring up my stuff over here. Just want to see if I can actually be heard. Can you hear me? Just waiting for it to catch up. Oh, yeah, I can hear it from here. So, okay, hold on. Let me crank you up here. Hold on. Let me turn myself up in the mixer, which I'm almost maxed out on, but let's crank it up just a little bit more. Hopefully that's a lot better. I just turned up my mixer, so hopefully, can you hear me better now? Oh, and I paused. Can you hear me better now? Alright, so I'm looping through, so I believe it's, because I'm here echo, so let me turn that off here. Okay, I'm glad you can hear better. Alright, so let's go back over here, since I'm going to keep my chat on this side so I'm not looking all over the place. And what I was doing is moving my camera up out of the way. Alright, so as you can see, I'm just getting the blade tool, and I want to split right here because the sound is super loud right here in comparison. So what I'm going to do overall, I'm just going to drop this audio back down to maybe around 3, and that's decent. Alright, so I'm just scrubbing through here because we had a whole lot of interesting stuff going today. We have people pressing the wrong buttons on video. Our audio stopped working right before we were doing announcements. So we're going to start right about here. And I want to actually cut that part out because we had a little flub there. So let me undo the audio here. Alright, let me turn that down a little bit. And this button right here is a dim button. It just softens your sound here, so it's not blasting. Alright, so this is right where the sound messed up, and I don't know why they zoomed in on Aiden. But what I'm going to do is cut right over to here. And while I was trying to fix that, I missed the sermon title. Alright, so we're going to cut that right there as if it didn't even exist. Boom. And I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to fade that for a couple of seconds. Or actually, I have some transitions. Let me undo that. Let's zoom in here. I'm going to put a transition over there. So our transition, that's one. That was that one. Maybe I'll put that one in there. So let's zoom in a little bit more. Alright, so there's the sermon part. Now I need to find out what the sermon was, because like I said, I was trying to fix the sound issue while we were in service. Alright, so there's still a little cut there. Let's get rid of that because he was still talking about the little blip we had in our... So I need to find out what this is.
This one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press towards the mark of the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. In the Good News Bible, these verses read from this lines. I do not claim that I
So
have already
define whatever the title is of this.
I have already become perfect. I keep striving to win the prize for which Christ Jesus has already won me to himself. Of course, my brethren, I really do not think that I have already won it. The one thing I do, however, is to forget what is behind me and do my best to reach what is ahead. So I run straight in order to win,
Excuse me, that went down the wrong pipe.
Jesus Christ to the light. Sermon title, pressing on. The Apostle Paul, who has been given credit for authorship of...
Alright, so I'm going to stop this right here, because as you can see, one of our guys actually hit the DSK button. Now, this is our wallpaper on the computer. And sorry for coughing. I was drinking this last piece of this piece of ice got stuck in my throat. Anyway, he had the DSK button hit, so it was showing the logo on him the entire time.
1/5 of the New Testament, who had an encounter with the risen Lord on the Damascus highway, has had no effect to the life above. Do my best to reach what is ahead. So I run straight towards the goal in order to win, which is God's call through Jesus Christ to the life above.
I'm still trying to find a good intro.
Sermon title,
Oh.
pressing on.
Oh, that was simple. I like when he actually calls it out. No, I have to look on there. So, and just that quick. Yeah, one more time.
Press it home.
Press on. That's what I thought. All right, so there's our title. Now, unfortunately, because of the way it was recorded, since this was recorded with the burn-in of the DSK still being held in where it erases the black, like I commented on this video on how to do lower thirds, this is the problem. When you're not paying attention to it and you leave this on, this is the stuff that you do happens. Now, normally the desktop I leave solid black, so if that did happen, this wouldn't show up like that. So I might have to switch that back for that. So now that I'm here, the sermon's pretty fine. I'm just going to go through here and I'm just going to do my lower thirds for pastor sales, which are, again, another set of lower thirds that were made just like the choir. I made it for everybody who is in our ministry. And I can't really put it right there because that stuff was on the screen. So we come in here and play it.
He was marked about
Boom, there you go. So what I like to do is look over the entirety of the whole sermon. This is right when he's leaving.
that nothing through Christ.
Alright, so he's done right here. So now I'm going to fade this out and do our intro outro right here. Just do the reverse of what we normally do. Now he went on, but in comparison to what our live stream audience needs to see, that's not important. So that's why we cut this off right here. Alright, so that's the entire sermon. Now let's look at it in its entirety. And what we want to do is drag our lower third here in multiple places here. About in the center and right before the ending. Now he didn't move a lot today, so normally I would spot check it to make sure that they're in good locations, but again, this is fine. So what I'm going to do now is highlight all of this, copy, go to the new timeline here, paste, and our whole online and full has been done. Now you can get you can put other stuff in here, like I could put the corrected announcements for today where I made that cut, and that's really simple to do. And actually, let me come in here and do that. So let me pull up the announcements, which were saved here. So let me drag that here into the top folder. And then what we can do, bring that up. Let's put our cursor right here. And then we're going to do an insert. And now it put the whole announcement right there in the center. But what we want to do is do a transition here so we can actually make it somewhat presentable there. So let's do this transition. So if we play it, now I need to fade that audio out so it doesn't sound weird. And I need to reposition that transition so that when the blinds are done, you don't see Aiden anymore. Like that. So that works. Alright, so I need to drop the volume on this section, which is good because it's its own contained thing. So let's drop by 5. And then we're going to cut over to here and do that same transition here. Alright, real transparent. Now, again, only people going to see this are whoever bought the DVD, or if they do the on-demand, and they'll see that. Alright, so we got both of those done. The baptism I will come back to, but, well, actually, let me just do that. Let's go here, and we're going to now look at, put the out right there, so we have the beginning. So we just start from there, and then that was the end of the baptism. Really short. Alright, so that's the end. So I would clean this up and include this later. So we have this. I'm just going to save it in my timeline, and I'll come back and edit that at a later moment. Alright, so now we're going to go to deliver. We're going to start with online because that's going to go the fastest. Online 7.8. Set that to my E drive. Add. Now we're going to pick our full one. And again, it doesn't matter when you change the template. Full 07. That's going there as well too. That's going to be uploaded, and we're going to strip the audio out of this so that we can turn that into our podcast. This is going to be saved on Vimeo so that if we ever make a DVD, we just have to download that and then we can burn that to the DVD. Saves a lot of space instead of taking up hard drive space. And Vimeo servers are a lot better than the hard drives we have on our computers here. So we'll just save that, and we'll start the render. Now this should not take very long. Now I'm saying it's going to be around maybe 12 minutes for it to be done, but that's about it. I'm kind of shrinking this down because I'm doing this for y'all that are interested if you want to follow along and get some tips, but at the same time I don't want to drag this out too long. Plus I have a lot of other stuff that I do this in piecemeal so that for especially my media ministry, they can follow along. So it's for y'all as well. So this might be a tip that when you're I don't know what that was, but when y'all maybe when you think about training your media ministry, think about doing some stuff like this, because it may be a benefit for somebody just not to follow text, but for somebody if they have two screens, they can bring this up and then bring up yours at the same bring up their desktop and work at the same time. So that's kind of the goal for this. So again, this is a lot shorter than I normally do because I know my daughter is in the other room playing around. Normally she would be taking a nap right now, but I guess I shouldn't have given her one of these ices along with her daddy. So she's bouncing around. So I'm going to spend some daddy-daughter time here in a second, but I hope that helps. Stay tuned. I have a install with the Ori 1x4, and I'm actually going to set it up here and show you how to do live streaming into a computer using the Intensity Pro 4K, which will take video in, but the video out is going to be going to the Ori 1x4 and sending that signal that's through vMix as well as OBS to all of the other TVs that are going to be in the sanctuary. That's what we're going to be installing this Friday at Sharon Baptist Church in Weems, Virginia. But I'm going to just give you a heads up on how you can actually do that yourselves and how you can save yourself a lot of time to rebroadcast what's coming in over your camera or your video mixer or whichever one and send it out to all the other TVs in your church. So if you like this type of content, I would appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. This is AJ, and we will see you later in the week in another video. Later.